All right, hello, hello. How are you? We'll get started in about 15 seconds. We'll do 30 minutes of Tabata exercises. That's where we do 20 seconds of exercise, then 10-second rest. So we'll get started here. Hello, hello. So all you'll need is a mat and some water. Let's get started out with some arm rotations in our warm-up. Extending your arms side to side. We'll do 3, 2, and 1. Great job. Next we'll do some big shoulder rolls to the front. And then reverse the shoulder rolls to the back. Great job. We'll do some good morning stretches. That's where you place your fists next to your temples. And you just sit back, hinge forward while you stick your butt back. And then come back up. We'll do 3 more. 2 more. And last one. Let's do some side lateral lunges. That's where you start with your feet together and you step out to one side and sit back into that imaginary chair. Step out to the other side. The stepping leg is bent and your stationary leg is straight. We'll do 1 more on each side. Great. Let's walk out to a plank. Hold the plank for the second. Step your right foot out to the outside of your right hand. Twist open to the right, raising your right arm up to the sky. Then thread your right arm underneath your left armpit. We'll do that once more. Arm up to the sky. Arm underneath the left armpit. Step your right foot back. Left foot outside your left hand. Twist open to the left. Then thread your left arm under your right armpit. Once more. Put your left hand back on the mat. Left foot back. Come to a downward facing dog. And pedal out your feet one at a time. And then let's walk back. Stay in the forward fold, slowly roll up. And we'll get started with our first exercise. First exercise is going to be skater squats. That's where you hop right to left. And you land in a low squat. All right, take a rest. Great job. Up next is a glute bridge, so let's come down to our mat. Hands behind our hips, feet on the mat, knees bent. And let's get into that glute bridge. So you lift your hips up to the sky. We'll do another variation of this, but for right now, let's take a 10-second rest. Come up to standing. We'll do those skater squats again, starting in 3, 2, 1. So you start on one side of your mat, hop over. Nice and fast. In 10 seconds, we'll take a rest. So down on your mat for the glute bridge. 3, 2, 1. 10-second rest. This time, we'll start with our shoulders against the mat. So go ahead and lay down with your feet on the mat, knees bent, arms by your side. And we'll lift our hips up to the sky. and slowly back down. So we'll alternate between these two variations. One on our wrists and the other on our shoulders. Great job. 10-second rest. Come up to standing. Get ready for the skater squats. 3, 2, 1. So you're skating from side to side and you're landing nice and lightly into almost like a squat position. All right, 3, 2, 10-second rest. Back to the glute bridge, this time on our palms. So palms behind your hips. Let's go ahead and raise our hips up to the sky and back down. All right, 3, 2, and take a 10-second rest. Up next, I believe, is the last round of skater squats. 3, 2, 1. Hopping from side to side. Landing nice and low. All right, 10-second rest. Back to the glute bridge. This time we'll do it with our shoulders on the mat. So feet are on the mat, knees are bent, torso's on the mat. Raise your hips up as high as you can. Try and make a nice diagonal line from your knees to your hips to where your shoulders meet the ground. 3, 2, 1. Take a rest. Great job. Up next are punching knee drives. So we'll start out with the punches. Let's go. So start with the punches. Quick punches. When you have that, add the knees. Try and do it to the beat of the music if you can. It's a good speed. All right, take a 10-second rest. Up next are lateral jumps. So it's similar to a skater squat, except we're going to be jumping higher and across to the other side of the mat. So go ahead and jump, just side to side, lateral movement. All right, 10-second rest. Then back to the punching knee drives. 3, 2, 1. All right, great job. Take a 10-second rest. Then back to those lateral jumps. All right, let's go. Side to side jumps. Jump as high as you can. Land as softly as you can. Soft knees. 3, 2, 10-second rest. Again, the punching knee drives. Let's try it to the beat of the music. Good pace. All right, let's go. Really punch with a lot of force, a lot of effort, and try and raise your knees up as high as you can. And 10-second rest. Another round's coming up, lateral jumps. 3, 2, 1. Side to side jumps. 10 more seconds. And 10-second rest. Another round of the punching knee drives coming up in 3, 2, 1. Three, two, rest. Great job. We have one more round of lateral lunges starting now. Hop over side to side. We do 6 blocks of work. Each block has 2 exercises, and we repeat each block 4 times. Great job. So that's the end of that block. Up next is the Sumo Squat. That's where your feet are hip distance apart, slightly turned out. And you squat down, come up. We can also add 3 pulses in the middle if you want. But the goal is to squat down, having your butt go lower or as low as your knees. Go ahead and take a rest, 10-second rest. Come down to your mat. We're doing windshield wipers with our legs, so go ahead, bring your knees into tabletop, glue your legs together, then slowly rotate your knees from right to left. 5 more seconds, then we hop back up to standing. Great job. In that sumo squat. 3, 2, 1. So sumo squat down, nice and low. Come back up, show from the side. Sumo squat. You notice how my butt is getting as low as my knees. I'm placing all my weight into my heels. Keeping your chest nice and proud. Take a 10-second rest down to the mat. Windshield wipers again. So come to tabletop and nice and slowly rotate your legs as they're glued together to the left and to the right. You can either have your head up or head down and try and get your knees to touch the ground on each rotation. Great job. Come up, sumo squat in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Squat down nice and low. Come up. It's a little difficult for me every time I have to move the mic transmitter when I come up and down. All right, 3, 2, 1, down to the mat. I'll show you from the side view this time, the windshield wipers. All right, legs are in tabletop, they're glued together. My arms are out by my side, and I rotate my legs from one side to the other, keeping my upper back on the mat, nice, slow, and controlled. In 3 seconds, we'll take a 10-second rest, and then back into the sumo squats again. Let's put the mic back here. All right, into the sumo squat. Ten more seconds. Make sure your toes are turned out. I just made a slight adjustment myself. 3, 2, 1. Down on the mat for the windshield wipers.
Y'all know you see the custom cuff leaks.
All right, let's get into the windshield wipers. Legs are in tabletop, and you rotate side to side. Trying to get your knees to touch the mat each time. 3, 2, 1. Great job. You can stay on the mat if you want to. Next up, we will be doing some sit-ups with our arms raised. So let's come down, feet on the mat, knees bent, lower back on the mat, arms are up. We're going to keep our arms up the full time. Do a sit-up and slowly lower down. 3, 2, 1. Great job. Up next, come to our feet. We'll be doing a burpee. In 3, 2, 1. Burpee. So you start with the hands up, hop out into a plank, hop your feet back in, hop back up.
Doing shit we ain't supposed to.
Holding each position just for a split second. 5 more seconds here. And then we're back down on the mat. Great job. Let me adjust my mat a little bit. All right, come down to your mat for the tempo sit-ups. Let's roll back and start the sit-ups. So these are called tempo sit-ups because they're a little bit faster than you might normally do them. Normally we like to do them nice and slow. Great job. 10-second rest. Come to standing for the burpees. All right, 3, 2, 1. Hop up, hop out to a plank, hop back in. Try and add some speed here. All right, 3 seconds. We have a rest. Great job. Come back down for the sit-ups. This time we'll start sitting up. Why not? Arms straight up. Roll down. Roll back up. Arms stay extended the full time. All right, 3, 2, rest. Great job. Back to the burpees. Let me adjust my mat. There we go. 3, 2, 1. Hop up, hop out, hop back in. You can also add a push-up if you want. In 5 seconds, we take a rest. Great job. Come back down. Last round, I believe, of the tempo sit-ups. All right, let's start with our arms raised and slowly roll back and then roll up. Three, 2, take a rest, come up to standing. Time for burpees, one last time. 3, 2, 1. Hop up, hop out, back to standing. Add a push-up. Three, 2, and rest. Great job. You can stay standing if you want. Next up, we're going to do 2 squats with the lateral lunge. Let's get into that. So 2 squats, 1, 2, then we lateral lunge to the right. We'll just do it on the right side this time. 2 squats. Lateral lunge to the right. Take a rest. Up next, we'll be in a plank position. So walk out to a plank. We're going to be doing 2 rows on the right and 1 push-up. So 1 row on the right, 2 rows on the right. Come down for a push-up. Same side, right, right. 1 full range of motion push-up, and take a rest. Up to standing for the 2 squats and 1 lateral lunge to the left this time. 3, 2, 1. 2 squats. Step out to the left, sit back into the lateral lunge. 10 more seconds. Really try and do these movements nice and deep, nice and long. And take a rest. Back out to the mat for the 2 rows on the left with 1 push-up. All right, let's go. 2 rows on the left, keeping your pelvis nice and steady. 1 push-up. Again, 2 rows on the left. 1 nice and slow push-up. You could drop to your knees for both the row and the push-up if you want. Great job. Up to standing. 2 squats with the lateral lunge on the right. And 3, 2, 1. 1 squat, come up. 2 squats, lunge out to the right. 1 squat. 2 squats, again to the right. All right, take a rest. Back down to the mat. 2 rows, 1 push-up on the right. In 3, 2, 1. So as you do the rows, really focus on keeping your hips and your torso level. That'll engage your abs even more, your core muscles even more. It's called anti-trunk rotation. Come up to standing. 2 squats, 1 lateral lunge on the left. In 3, 2, 1. So the squats, you start with your feet hip distance apart, and then the lunge, you step out to one side, this time the left side. Really pushing your range of motion in both the squat and the lunge. Take a break. 2 rows, 1 push-up. Walk out onto the right this time. So 2 rows on the right, 1 push-up. Three, 2, 1. You can stay on the mat. I'm grabbing something to drink. Up next is just a standard plank for 20 seconds. Starting now, so let's walk out into a straight arm plank. Hold that plank. Wrists underneath your elbows, and your elbows are underneath your shoulders. You're engaging your abs. You're sucking your navel to your spine. And take a 10-second rest. Up next, we could stay in that same position. We'll do a bear crawl. So that's where you start on all fours. You lift your knees off the mat just slightly, and you crawl forward 1 appendage at a time, and then you crawl backwards. Nice and slow, keeping your knees off the ground. 3, 2, 1. Great job. Another plank coming up in 5 seconds. This time let's do a forearm plank, so come to your forearms. And let's go with the plank, 20 seconds. So in the forearm plank, make sure your butt is in line with your shoulders. You don't want it up in the air. You want it level. So you're making a straight line from your butt to your head, no matter what type of plank you do. All right, great job. Take a rest. Up next is that bear crawl again. So all fours. Lift your knees off the mat just a couple inches and crawl forward until you reach the end of your mat or whatever, and then crawl back till you reach the back of your mat. 10 more seconds. Stay nice and low and take a 10-second rest. Up next again is that plank. This time we'll do a straight arm plank. All right, let's go with the straight arm plank. So same idea, you want to keep a straight line from your butt to your head, your shoulders. Your head's looking down at the mat. Your toes are curled under. And take a rest. Whew. In 5 seconds we do that bear crawl again. All fours, lift your knees up, crawl forward, and then crawl back. All right, 3, 2, and rest. Up again, we have a plank. And then I believe one more bear crawl perhaps, and then we do a cool down. Let's do the forearm plank. That's where you're on your forearms. Your elbows are underneath your shoulders. Your legs can be either together or hip distance apart, but the goal is to keep your butt as low as your shoulders. Take a rest. Great job. Up next, I believe, is the last bear crawl. So let's get on to all fours. Lift your knees up and crawl forward. And then crawl back. Stay low the entire time. Again, you don't want to lift your butt or your shoulders up too high. Great job. Now let's get into the cool down. Let's sit our weight back into a child's pose. Sit our weight back into a child's pose. We'll take a few breaths here. Walk your hands over to one side. And then walk your hands over to the other side. Great. Come back to all fours. We'll do a few cat cows. One more of each. Great. Come to kneeling. Take your right foot, extend out in front of you. Right leg's bent. Lift your arms straight up to the sky. Come down to prayer position. Take your left elbow outside of your right knee and twist to the right, looking over your right shoulder. Maybe taking your right hand and placing it on the left hip. Come back to center. Right leg back down, left leg forward. Left arm straight up. Come to prayer position. Twist to the left. Look over the left shoulder. Take the left hand, place it on the right hip. Come back to center. We'll take a cobra pose here. So all fours, then you lower your pelvis to the mat as you push up from your hands, looking up slightly. Then come back to all fours, transition into a downward facing dog. Hips up to the sky, pedal your feet out. We'll do 2 more on each side. Walk your hands back to your feet. Slowly roll up. We'll take 3 deep breaths. Nice deep breath in. Exhale. 2 more. Last one. Let it all go. And that's it. Great job. Thank you for coming. That was 30 minutes of Tabata exercises. And I hope to see you soon. Thanks again. Bye.
When I see trouble come my way, I be making lemonade. I know I be A-O, A-OK. I know I be A-O, A-OK.